All right, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today's topic is exercise, the best medicine. Before we get started, just a couple of those normal items to take care of. We will have some time for questions at the end of the presentation, and you can type those into the question box in the lower portion of your control panel. We will be posting a recording of the webinar on our blog. The link for that will be shown at the end as well. And if you would like a PDF copy of the presentation, there will be a link to download that on that same post as the recording. If your question does not get answered today, please email our support inbox, which will be shown at the end as well. Okay, so today Coach Jordan and I are going to give you some great reasons why exercise is considered one of the best medicines out there, and then we'll give you some easy ways to get into a routine. If you already exercise, that's fantastic. Hopefully there are some tips that can help you to continue on that great path and some motivation for you to keep going and progressing with what you already do. If you're not quite there yet, then pay close attention today. We'll give you some great tips to get started. We're going to cover all aspects of exercise. We're going to go through cardiovascular, also known as cardio, strength training, as well as stretching or flexibility and balance. All three of these areas play an important role in your health. So if you aren't hitting all three, this is a great time to get started with whatever aspect you may not be getting in on a regular basis. As always, though, before you get started with any new exercise routine, please talk with your doctor, especially if you have specific health concerns. I'll start us off today with the benefits of cardio. Like I said, cardio is short for cardiovascular. Aerobic is also another term that you may hear interchanged when we're talking this kind of exercise. To keep it very simple, cardio is simply getting that heart rate elevated. There are a ton of ways to do this, as Jordan will touch on here in a minute, and they all have great health benefits outside of just burning calories, which we know is a benefit, but we can do even better than that today. So let's talk about some of the other main ones. Since it is Heart Health Month, let's start out with those benefits. Cardio strengthens your heart. Your heart is a muscle like any other in your body. We have to put stress on it so that it adapts and gets stronger. And the way we put stress on our heart is to make it beat faster, which is done by doing that cardio and getting that heart rate up, right? The benefits of a strong heart include the improvement of the ability to draw oxygen from the blood that circulates through the heart, as well as pumping blood more efficiently to your body. This reduces the need for the heart to beat as often, which makes the heart last longer, which is pretty much the overall goal we're looking for, right? Similar to strengthening your heart, cardio helps keep your arteries clear as well. It helps increase HDL, which is our good cholesterol, and helps lower your LDL, which is our bad cholesterol. The good cholesterol helps go through and take that LDL, that bad cholesterol, to the liver so that it can get flushed from the body. So more good, less bad, all perfect with that. Next benefit of aerobic exercise, it can help manage and even prevent chronic conditions. Things like heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, stroke, arthritis, and cancer may be prevented or at the very least managed better with cardio. One of the ways it does this is that it reduces inflammation in our bodies, which is the cause of many health issues. So lowering this is huge when it comes to management and prevention. Asthma is another condition that can benefit from exercise. It can help lessen frequency and severity of attacks. Of course, it should be discussed with your doctor to make sure you're doing it safely. Chronic pain is another condition that can be caused by many different things, but aerobic exercise, specifically low-impact exercises like swimming, can help strengthen those muscles and help that pain, as well as help with weight loss too, right? And that can reduce some of that chronic pain as well, depending on what type it is. Now let's talk getting sick. Nobody likes that, right? Aerobic exercise helps activate our immune system and can help leave you less susceptible to colds and flu. Now this time of year, this should be the only benefit I say to get you moving. Okay, let's talk more about the mental side of the benefits of cardio. Aerobic exercise can help improve our mood, including reducing anxiety and depression. We release specific hormones that help mood when we exercise. Now, I haven't thrown any stats at you so far today, so let's add one for this benefit. A study with individuals with depression had participants walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes doing intervals, which means periods of slower speeds mixed with quicker speeds. They did this for 10 days. every single participant reported a significant reduction in their depression symptoms. That's only 10 days and they already saw that. That's incredible. And so just think of the benefits of regular cardio to those of us with normal daily stressors. All good stuff. Now, it makes sense from what I just talked about, hopefully, that aerobic exercise can just help brain health in general as well. We start to lose brain tissue at age 30. So Jordan here still has a full head of brains, but I'm not so lucky. But aerobic exercise may slow this loss and improve cognitive performance. So we've all still got a chance, guys. Cardio can help promote memory, reasoning, judgment, and thinking skills, and not only in older adults, in kids as well. According to the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation, regular exercise can reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's by up to 50%. Also, it can slow further deterioration in those that have already started to develop problems. They recommend a combination of cardio and strength, so you're going to hear a bit more from me on this when we talk about the benefits of strength training. Okay, last benefit for cardio, and then I'll let Jordan give you some ways to get started. Sleep. To save some time, I'm going to keep it simple. Quality and duration of sleep can both be impacted positively with cardio during our day. And we know that sleep sets the tone for our entire day. So even though I'm not spending a lot of time here, this is a fantastic benefit that's going to benefit you, again, in all of those other areas if you can get that good amount of sleep and start your day nice and refreshed. Okay, here's a quick summary of the recommendations for the amount of cardio that we should be getting. 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise each week. So moderate exercise is where you could still hold a conversation pretty easily with someone if you were walking with them. Vigorous is where you'd struggle with that. We're working pretty darn hard with that. So again, these are the recommendations. Now I'll turn it over to Jordan to give you some great tips on incorporating some cardio into your life.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, now that we've begun to shed some light on the benefits that incorporating physical activity will bring, it's time for us to harness our newfound motivation to establish a routine. But where do we start? Well, in the case of cardio, you have a vast amount of activities to choose from. And as Shelby had mentioned, the goal behind cardio is to get your heart rate elevated. So you're going to want to find something that you're comfortable with doing in order to help you get outside of your comfort zone, if that makes sense. So not everyone's going to be keen on running more than 6 miles. And although it's quick and effective, wind sprints might not be your cup of tea either. Remind yourself that something is better than nothing, and once you get started, you can always increase intensity as you feel ready. Better to start slow and grow rather than start out too quick and suffer an injury. So when you're thinking about how or where you can do these workouts, consider anything practical and that you would enjoy. Maybe there's a nice track or a walking trail nearby if you prefer to get outdoors. Weather permitting, I know I'd like to get outside, but that's not always the case. So definitely finding a backup plan for when weather is not agreeable. If you have access to a treadmill or a stationary bike in your home, then you can find 20 minutes where you can hop on and get in a workout. Something quick is better than nothing at all. So gym memberships can take a lot of the pressure off owning your own equipment, and you know that there's a place where you're specifically going in order to exercise. Stair steppers and rowing machines are some of the popular machines out there, but stationary bikes and ellipticals are commonly used because they can help to take some of that pressure off your joints in comparison to running on a treadmill. As Coach Shelby mentioned, having access to a pool is another great way to get in cardio while taking some of the impact off of your body. There are endless options at our disposal when it comes to determining an activity to increase our heart rate, and it's just a matter of finding which one works best for us. So a good sweat is one of the many fun symptoms that come along with good cardiovascular workout, and definitely make sure that you're properly equipped for this. Lightweight and moisture-wicking clothing are some of the preferred options when getting dressed to hit your workout. Finding a quality pair of tennis shoes that allow you to run or move comfortably without risking injury are very important. And be sure to keep a water bottle handy. And coming from personal experience, headphones are another item that can make or break your workout. While packing your gym bag or laying out your clothes gives you the opportunity to see everything that you'll need in advance, and is also extra incentive to make sure that you hit your workout. So now that you know what type of activity you plan on doing, or some items that are necessary for you to do so, When is it going to be the best time for you to get this workout in? Time is something that I know each of us wish that we had more of. And setting a measurable goal is a great way to make sure you can get these workouts in. Coach Shelby had just alluded to the idea of 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of higher intensity. And you can spread this out throughout your week as you see fit. If your goal is to exercise 3 to 4 days a week, then it becomes a specific number that you're able to strive for. But even if you miss your goal one week, the next week is another opportunity in order to make it happen. In the beginning, it may not be practical to do 5 days a week. So starting with something like 2 or 3 and then building upon that is a good start. You can always increase the length of your workouts, the intensity, pace, or add in that extra day. There truly is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to developing a plan, and that's why it's important to determine your needs and come up with a practical routine that will work with your schedule. If you are among the portion of the population who struggles with waking up early in the mornings, you may want to find the time in the afternoon. Maybe you're on the side that finds it difficult to summon energy to exercise after a long work day, and so it would work best to incorporate something into your morning. Packing your bag with workout clothes so you can swing by the gym or head out for a run on the way home from work may work best for you. And if you have the option, you could hit a high intensity workout during your lunch break, and that could help you keep your mornings and evenings free. There's always going to be things that come up that may interfere with getting in our workouts, but trying to plan ahead or schedule them the same way you would an appointment or a meeting can help create some accountability and hopefully some consistency.
Fantastic. And we just did a time management webinar back in January, so take a look at that too. Perfect. All right. Let's go on to strength training. Now, strength training is simply activities that stress our muscles to make them stronger. Most people tend to think only of that cardio when we think exercise. So what are some of the reasons to include strength training as well? First, it increases your muscle mass. Okay, that one might be kind of obvious, but it's a very important benefit that we sometimes overlook. Muscle mass naturally decreases as we get older, but we can help slow down and reverse this trend with regular strength training. Now, by regular, I only mean 2 to 3 20-minute sessions per week. This is all it takes to start getting benefits. Now, why should you care if you lose some muscle? It's not like you're going to join any bodybuilding competitions, right? Well, I know it's not something we like to necessarily think about, but it could be the difference between you being able to live on your own longer and needing more assistance. Upper body strength specifically can be a big indicator of independence as we get older. Think about it. Carrying your groceries into the house, putting them away, carrying laundry. Think about all the things you do throughout your day that you take for granted, and then think about doing them with half the strength. Probably going to be harder, right? If not impossible. Gaining muscle mass can help prevent falls as well, and those are much more serious as we get older too, so prevention is key. Starting now to build up that strength is going to pay huge dividends to you as you get older. As Coach Jordan likes to say, be proactive, not reactive. Next benefit, bone health. Strength training puts stress on our muscles, and our muscles adapt by building themselves back up stronger. Our bones are the same way. When they're stressed through strength training, they increase in density, and they're going to fracture less and be less susceptible to osteoporosis, which is low bone density, right? The opposite there. So if we do strength training, that bone density is going to come up, and you're going to have less issues with injury and osteoporosis. Joint health is another benefit to strength training. If you only do cardio and you find your hips and knees are sore all the time, no matter how long you've been doing it, strength training could be your cure. When you strengthen the muscles around your joints, it can help prevent soreness and also injury. It helps maintain good form throughout your workouts, keeps the joint flexible, and also simply strengthens the joint itself to be more resistant to that injury, like I said. Arthritis sufferers specifically, listen up, strong muscles support joints. They can reduce inflammation, pain, and stiffness. So if you haven't already heard it from your doctor, have a conversation about the recommendations to how to start strength training to safely help that arthritis or the symptoms. Now, overlapping some of our cardio benefits, strength training can also help manage chronic conditions. I already mentioned arthritis, but chronic pain, heart disease, diabetes, obesity can all be managed better or even help be prevented by regular strength training. Same with mental health. I mentioned the Alzheimer's stat and that those practicing regular cardio and strength training can reduce risk by 50%. It will help with that daily stress as well. If you get in a good weight training session, the physical and mental symptoms of stress can significantly be reduced. Okay, quick overview of the general recommendations for strength training. 2 to 3 times a week for all the major muscle groups. Look to do a minimum of 1 set, which means just 12 to 15 repetitions of that movement. So that would be 1 set, again, at a minimum. You should be able to finish that set in a good form, but your muscles should be tired by the end of those repetitions. We don't want to lose the form, but we have to stress those muscles. If you're doing bodyweight exercise, you may be able to do more than this amount, but by following that same rule of finishing with good form, but being tired, again, you can kind of get a handle on how much you can do, at least to get started. Now, again, these are general recommendations just to get yourself started. If you're already in a good routine or looking to progress, you're most likely going to be doing more than this. You can chat with a personal trainer, different things like that to keep progressing. Okay, back to Jordan with how to get some strength training built into those workouts.
Awesome. Well, when starting with the strength training, you need to determine what your objective is. You're getting started because you want to build strength. And so it's important to distinguish what your goal is, because that will be the influencer behind your approach. You can burn fat and build muscle as you see necessary, depending upon how much weight you plan on tackling. So having a workout plan written on paper or even plugged into your phone can be really helpful, because you can see how many sets and repetitions it is you plan on doing. This gives you something to follow and stick to, can allow you to track how much weight you do for each exercise and track progress, set future goals. So as mentioned when planning your cardiovascular activity, having a schedule or planned training day is important for weightlifting or strength training. The structure is important in holding yourself accountable, but you also need to give yourself that time to recover and rest. So alternating the different body parts, like Coach Shelby had mentioned, focusing on different muscle groups for different days is really important for setting yourself up for success. So you can really adjust your workouts based on the number of days you go each week. And when aiming to lose weight, you might want to be exercising more frequently or aim for those higher repetitions. While building strength, you're able to include a few longer rest periods. So keep in mind that when you set out to reach your goal, that your body will take time to adjust and see the progress you're looking for. So if weight loss is your mission, keep in mind that when you begin lifting weights, you will initially see some muscle mass increase. So don't get discouraged if the scale is not dropping as quick as you'd hoped. Furthermore, don't get confused that cardio is going to be the only way that you'll see this weight loss, or that lifting weights is going to make you overly bulky. Additional benefits of strength training are that it can boost metabolism and help to rev up that fat loss. So be aware while lifting heavier weights that you may need equipment such as a weight belt or wraps to help control the weights and reduce any injury. However, you can certainly build strength without much equipment required, or utilizing your body weights, for example. You can build strength doing push-ups, dips, squats, lunges, and many other exercises, without any additional equipment. Another crucial way to set yourself up for success while strength training is getting in that good warm-up beforehand. Warming up your body, stretching can help to prevent any injuries, and this all ties in really nicely with the next section, which Shelby will tell us about.
Perfect. All right, last part of our exercise routine, stretching and balance. This may be the most overlooked aspect of exercise, but it certainly shouldn't be. Here are some benefits of doing regular stretching and balance work. First, it increases your range of motion and your flexibility. Yes, again, common sense benefit, but why do we want that? Having good range of motion and flexibility can slow the degeneration of your joints. If you've had an injury that has prevented you from moving certain joints for a bit, these exercises become even more important to regain that movement, to be able to just do the simple, normal tasks of your daily lives. Stretching can also help reduce your risk of injury. If your muscles aren't used to stretching and you all of a sudden try to do a movement that stretches it, what's going to happen? Probably a pulled muscle, maybe a torn muscle, lots of bad things. That's why we got to keep those joints or keep those muscles flexible. Stretching also helps relieve aches and pains from exercises or just normal activities like work if you have a higher impact job. It promotes circulation to our body. Stretching increases blood supply to our muscles, which brings more nutrients and shortens that recovery time our muscles need to feel ready again. If you start your cardio or strength routine, you should expect some soreness. But if you take a few minutes to stretch after these workouts, you can definitely reduce that soreness and maybe lessen some of that mental struggle we have when we feel so sore, right? We're not going to want to start again. This can help prevent that. Stretching can help improve our posture as well. Specifically, stretching the muscles of the lower back, shoulders, and chest can help keep your back in better alignment. And we know that good posture helps lower back pain as well. So it's a very positive domino effect if we start stretching regularly. With lower back pain, you also need to pay attention to stretching your hamstrings, which are the back of those upper legs, and then your hip flexors, which is the top front of your legs where you bend when you go to sit down. So many people could lower their lower back pain simply by stretching more. So something to chat with doctor about or something to keep in mind. Stretching can help relieve stress as well. When you stretch regularly, your muscles hold less tension in general, which can help that physical response that happens when we're stressed. Also, in yoga practices, for example, we typically focus on breathing as well, right? When you do this, you activate what is called the vagus nerve. Now, this nerve controls some of the muscles in our heart that actually lowers our heart rate. So when you take that deep breath and then you exhale it out, whether it be in yoga or whether you're just doing simple deep breathing, that nerve triggers your heart rate to slow, again, lessening that stress response that typically quickens our heart rate and causes all sorts of other negative symptoms. So lots of good benefits. And then benefits of balance. These are pretty easy. If you have better balance, you have better coordination and reaction time typically, which helps you prevent falls and injuries. This also helps stabilize your joints, which plays a part in injury prevention as well. All right, recommendations for stretching. You should stretch after your cardio and strength sessions. And when Jordan said after a warm-up, if you're doing a warm-up before your strength session too, that can be a good time. There's different recommendations out there, but basically, for sure after your stretching, or 2 to 3 days per week of a specific stretching or balance workout, like yoga or Tai Chi. If you're stretching after a workout, look to hold each stretch 10 to 30 seconds for the major muscle groups, specifically the ones that you have worked during that workout. Total body is ideal, but if you don't have enough time, make sure you're stretching for sure those muscles that you just used. All right, let's give it back to Jordan one more time, give you some ways to get some stretching and balance in your life.
Wow, what a better way for us to connect with our bodies than through practicing mindful stretching and challenging our balance. Truthfully, the best way to get started with yoga is to set aside any notions that we cannot get started without having extensive prior knowledge. Discovering yoga can be just as simple as typing in yoga into Google or YouTube, and you'll be connected with thousands of videos for all skill levels. Additionally, you can find videos that focus on those specific body parts that you wish to stretch. You know, if you're looking for your upper back, lower back, legs, or anything. As someone who's highly skilled in the art of tripping on flat surfaces, I know that I could benefit from incorporating some balance and stretching exercises into my routine. So setting your intention can help to keep focused and serve as a reminder while doing this practice. For those of us who could use some additional guidance, a solid option would be trying a class at your gym or a yoga studio. Being in a class with others may seem intimidating, but remember that everyone had to start somewhere, and the beautiful thing about yoga is that it's a predominantly individualistic experience. So others will be so in tune with themselves and what they're working on that they will have no judgments towards you. For people who prefer a coach in person or would enjoy this group dynamic, this is a great route for you to take. Many places will offer classes at a variety of times during the day, so like the other activities that we've discussed, you can determine what time of day will work best for you, and this is something that you can incorporate even during your work day, so you don't have to go anywhere before or after. If you take some time to sit and focus on your breathing for a few minutes, or even get up out of your chair, you're able to incorporate some stretches. There are not too many materials required to help you get in a good stretch, which is nice. But some things you may want to include would be proper attire, if time allows. You can possibly get a mat, and if you really want to put in some work, you could get a foam roller, and that would help to provide some additional benefit. So don the clothes that you feel best in, There's no need to invest in any crazy expensive yoga attire, and I know that there's no shortage of influence out there that may lead you to overthink the clothing necessary for yoga, but truthfully, anything that you feel comfortable moving around and stretching in, that will suffice. So an increasingly popular option, which is displayed up on the screen, has been gaining a lot of momentum, and this is goat yoga.
Did you say goat yoga?
Yeah, that's right. So you can connect with your physical self, your inner self, and connect with little goats. So that is an entertaining way to help you get in some of that activity. So something worth considering is trying to incorporate a combination of these different avenues that we've discussed into your overall exercise regimen. Being able to mix in cardio, strength training, and stretching or flexibility is very important. So giving the time to each one category can help you to improve in the other. Keep in mind that the best outcome is feeling well. Do not get overly concerned with how it looks or put any other added pressures onto yourself. We all have to start somewhere, and hopefully this information has been able to help put some perspective in how you're able to get started. And I'm sure that we've all heard in some way or another who, what, when, where, why, and how. Well, in the case of getting started with exercising, the who is you, the what is the type of activity that you decide and any materials that you find you'll need for it. When is the time of day that you decide is going to work best for you and how often you find you're able to do it each week. Where can be at the gym, at home, outdoors, anywhere that allows you to get in this exercise. Why is your individual reason. You want to be healthier, you want to avoid illness, we want to increase our quality and longevity of life. That's your why. How is your individual plan? Taking each of these different aspects and creating your own routine that allows you to develop a consistent pattern. These are all the important things to keep in mind while getting started with exercise.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Jordan. That's all we got for you today. We're going to stick around for questions, but I want to let you know what's upcoming next month in March. Healthy gut, happy mind. There's a lot that's going on there, so we're going to talk about that. And then April, managing stress at work specifically, but these tips will help you in not only work in every aspect of your day, but we're really going to focus on those stressors at work in a couple months. And then lifestyle rewards. If your company has elected questions for your lifestyle rewards, it will be noted when you submit on your My Health Check 360 account. Some of you may have them. Most of you probably do not. You can just submit that you watched the webinar today. But if you have questions, here are some of them. I'm going to come back to these. Otherwise, if you don't want to take the time to write them down, you will also be able to download the slide deck here once we get that post up on our blog, either later today or very early tomorrow. And then here's our contact information. We are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and that blog there, that's where you're going to download the report, download the slides, and that's where you can watch any of our webinars that we've recorded for the past million years, it feels like now. And then you can give us a call too. We would love to chat with you, or you can email us. If there's anything specific that comes up that you want to chat about, please feel free to reach out.